The summer box office is in full swing, pun intended, with the Apes movie. I'm talking with Owen Teague and Kevin Durant from the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, set 300 years in the future. So I'll direct this at Owen. You're the star of the film. You're in almost every scene. Tell us what Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is about.
Well, this film follows Noah, which is me, who is a young chimpanzee from a village called Eagle Clan, because we raise eagles. We bond with them, and that's kind of our spiritual core to the village, to our society. And I'm the son of the Master of Birds, and he's one of the leaders of the village. And I'm on the cusp of adulthood, along with my other two friends. And right before we get to have that ceremony that leads us into adulthood, our clan is ransacked and kidnapped by Proximus Caesar's army, and I have to go on this journey to save them and to see what's out there in the world. You know, Noah's been very sheltered, and it's his coming of age story, really.
Yeah, and what I love most about this film, the technology these days is just incredible. Like, looking at you guys now, I saw the film yesterday, you can just see the features that they're able to include from you guys with these motion capture performances. Kevin, what was it like filming a movie like this?
It was the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize it would be so incredibly liberating. I was so free of my own stupid human vanity. It felt awesome to just focus and be completely immersed in this character. It really was tremendous. And then a year later to get to go do ADR and look up on the screen and see myself in this ape and see that all my minute idiosyncratic behaviors, that my thoughts were coming through, everything came through as if it was just my own face itself. So it was quite stunning. Yeah.
And this all goes back to obviously the first trilogy of the newer series, Caesar, who played incredibly by Andy Serkis. What about those films do people need to know to see this new one? Because this is kind of a new age in the Planet of the Apes series.
Well, I think everybody should watch those movies because they're fantastic movies. I don't know that you really need to know anything because this one sets it up so well and kind of gives you what you need to know if you're not familiar with it. I think it'll give more meaning to this one if you do know, and you know the truth of Caesar's story, because, kind of one of the central ideas of this movie is how that legacy has been co-opted by future apes for their own purposes, and nobody really has the history right. So I think it'll add another layer to this movie.
I find like it's really cool because you could go see this movie, and then after you see this movie, you can use the other movies as prequels. Like, it's kind of great how it stands on its own, and yet, it truly is the evolution of the story. So I think I think you could totally attack it that way. Go see it on the biggest screen possible, and then go home and check the other ones after. The order matters not.
No.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Hearing your voice and then seeing Proximus say, "What a wonderful day!" It's just mind-blowing to me.
What a wonderful day!
That's an amazing ending. I can't wait for people to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in theaters on the biggest screen now. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. So when thinking of iconic film franchises, Planet of the Apes comes really close to mind. And I'm talking with one of the stars of the new film, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Freya Allen. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is set many, many, many years. It's the fourth film in this new series. So tell us where we are now in this franchise.
Yes, so it's set about 300 years after the last trilogy, and apes are now dominant, and so everything is completely switched round, and humans, the majority of them are feral, essentially, and not intelligent and can't speak, except for me.
Yep, except for you, and that's where obviously your character comes in. What's it like being kind of the face for the human representation in this film, aside all these apes and different actors who are playing them?
I mean, it's crazy now I think about it, because she really is the looking glass for viewers. But at the same time, it's kind of like when you're watching, you actually, I feel like the apes are so much of a mirror of us as humans that you kind of almost are seeing more of us in the apes this time round in a way. But yeah, no, I mean, I loved playing that character. It's a massive honor.
Yeah, and obviously these characters are playing. They're not actually the apes. They're doing the voiceover work, and they're doing the filmed portrayal of that. What's it like, kind of putting yourself in that mindset where, okay, I'm acting alongside these actors, but I have to remember these are actual like apes that are going to be in the film?
Well, that's the thing. They're not actually, it's not a voice. It's not they're just their voices. It's everything. It's their performances are these apes. Everything you see on screen is their acting. And I didn't need to imagine, them being hairy and apes. Like they acted so well as apes. They went through all of the physical training for it and figuring out, learning exactly how to move and how to speak. And so I didn't really need to imagine anything when they were in front of me. At least it was having to shoot the scene twice because of the VFX, because they needed a clean plate. That was more difficult.
Yeah, and Andy Serkis in the first trilogy of this was just out of this world with the motion capture performance, and now we have a new set of actors. What's that like? Like, it's kind of like you don't even have to see these first three films. Obviously, it's great to see them, but you don't have to see these previous films to see this one. What's that like, starting this new part of this series?
I think it's really exciting, and I think that, Wes has done a fantastic job at tying it to the other films, even back to the 1968 version. There's all of these Easter eggs in there, but it's completely new. We are seeing our world completely hidden under overgrowth, and so visually it looks completely different. It's a lot more vibrant, and then these two central characters are young, which we haven't seen as well, and I think that completely shifts the tone of the film and really gives a different story. It's a coming of age story. So I'm really excited because I think they've done the perfect balance of linking it back to them, but it's its own thing. My little brother saw it the other day, and this is his first Planet of the Apes film, and he loved it, and he's not seen any of those. So it's amazing that it's going to be bringing people into this franchise for the first time.
Yeah, that's so great. He got to see that. This is going to kick off the summer box office. I can't wait for people to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Thanks so much, Freya.
Thank you. Bye.